So this is my introduction for my higher education, a series of where I will be reviewing books that have greatly increased my education and the way I've lived my life. And big thanks to Dad for putting me on these books and embodying everything in these books ever since I can remember. And please enjoy. This is my book review and thoughts on essential readings in Natural High Actualization. So, this book is about helping you find self-esteem and social interest that boosts basically the natural high of life through humor. Now, what this book gets into is that self-esteem and social interest can be used to benefit, because actual adequate self-esteem implies the courage to be imperfect. Like, no need to control others, to feel above them intellectually, morally, or spiritually. And one can get self-esteem, which is always a subjective decision. Am I worthy enough? Whether or not you're aware of it, in any role. But the narrower the role, the greater possibility for disaster. As in, like, oh, mom's favorite child, or the perfect barista, or whatever. But what this is saying is that when you have true self-esteem and social interest, there are an infinite amount of possibilities to go about anything. There is no really this or that, good or bad. It could be all of that and then some. Letting go of these dualities helps us open up to the current moment's possibilities, in turn giving us an infinite amount of ways to live our lives more creatively, joyfully, and fully. And this book talks all about incorporating humor into that. Its whole thing is, if you want to have adequate self-esteem and social interest, you gotta incorporate some humor, take things lightly in a sense. Basically, the humorist can work with whatever he needs. And yeah, he can work with whatever he needs to adapt to a situation, which in humor, that's kind of what it's all about. You're always kind of adapting to situations to find something funny, or because what this book does is it kind of tells you to not take yourself too seriously, and that taking yourself too seriously will lead to arrogance, will lead to rigidity, will lead to basically not what you want to live a creative and full life. And another thing that this book points out is that human beings need to feel innate worth and inherent belonging to reach the ultimate goal of happiness, creativity, and good relationships, all of that. The whole point is you need to feel inherent self-esteem and inherent belonging, inherent worth to reach your highest self in a sense. Or because if your self-esteem or your worth or your belonging comes from another person or another thing that you do, it's not gonna work out. You're gonna start lying to cover up things that you don't want them to see. You're gonna start being self-destructive and all that jazz. You're just gonna start going downhill because your self-esteem or your worth or your belonging is attached to what that person thinks of you or how well you perform in this category. And what this is saying is you need to feel that inherently if you want to be a more creative and joyful person. And that was my take on it anyways. And the fact that you just need to, that humor really is the cure. Because if you can learn to laugh at a situation no matter what, then, or no matter what, you can overcome it easier because your heart feels lighter about this situation. And that was my thoughts and notes on essential readings and natural high actualization.